Welcome to my channel. As you know, look, you already really learnt how to do the envelope cover. So what I thought, because there it is there. So you already actually learnt how to do that, and I thought, why not try a baggy cover? So what I've done is that envelope will be practically designed in the same, that the baggie will be designed in exactly the same manner as what I did with that envelope that I just showed you for that signature. Now, the baggies you use are these, very handy. Now, the bag I use is obviously bigger because we need it for a letter size journal. What I did, I trimmed along there, and that removed that bit of bulk. But I left that there. So I actually then sewed around it and left that open because we want to utilise that for a pocket. So here it is. Here, it's sewn. I sewn a bit of fabric on it. Now, these are ideal. This is just, what do you call it? Wrapping paper. So I thought we'd utilise the wrapping paper for this journal. Now, I haven't inked it or anything. And as you see, I've brought it right to the end because I needed it to cover the this part of the journal. And we've got to also do something in there. But for now, we will stick it down. Because in this one, because we've got a pocket there, I am not going to actually leave pockets because it's a frailer paper. When it's a bit frail, you sort of got to think, well, you can't do it that way. So what we'll do is to start with, we'll glue it down. I've got to make sure I'm in frame so you don't miss nothing. And what I do, because I'm using the designer glue, I just mainly make sure all my ends, oh, I'm using too much glue. You don't need as much glue as I've just did. That's way too much. But like I said, I'm not going to leave a pocket in this one. Because, like I said, the paper is thin. And it's like homemade paper, really. If you've ever seen paper that you make yourself, this is what this feels like. I found it in one of the stores, and I actually bought it for something to do with the grandkids. And anyway, used it up for wrapping presents and whatnot, and it was good. I'm using way too much glue. You've got to be careful with this glitter glue because it is actually very runny. So, this way, I thought you've got another way of covering with unlimited supplies. And this is what it's all about, you know, covering up a journal, making it all with the stuff that you've got in your home already. I didn't have to go shopping for this journal. And that's the beauty of it. I didn't have to go shopping. Not all of us have the finances to create journals, but we have got the supplies in our home. And this is why I really like utilising limited supplies techniques, which is stuff found from around your house. Now, I did use too much glue, but it will dry, and it will dry nicely too. So I've got a bit of excess glue there. I need to remove that because we're going to do something there as well when we decorate the cover. So there it is there. Now, some of you can't cut straight or whatnot. There's a really good method. What I normally do, if you've got a sewing machine, I normally stitch around a photo to start with. And where's my ruler? I had a ruler ready. I'll put that there. Where's my ruler? Because I've got all sorts of bits and pieces that you can find around the house sitting on here. But I had a ruler. Oh, here it is. So, because you want to have some layers, just glue down a picture on your bit of paper. And normally what I do is just fold it in and then just rip. And that's all I do. I just rip. Because you can create a straight line with ripping method. Not with the mat in the road, obviously, because that makes it that little bit hard. And it won't matter if you are crooked. Not with this. Because you want a bit of grunge or a bit of whatever. I don't know if we're going to use this photo yet. Because we've got to see what works. We can put this on another cover. So there it is there. Now, we do want to apply some of this stuff. So I've got to get it happening. Because I like a bit of... And then we're going to test and see what's going to look good as another layer for underneath it. So what I'm thinking, this was a scarf. This can be used for anything. Now normally what I do, it's a muslin. So what I do is approximate, snip and tear. This can also be used for your, it can be used for your straps or ties. I used a different type of fabric. I just wanted a stronger fabric because this is really muslin or like a cheesecloth type of thing. And again, and what you're creating is a lot of fraying. So if you create a lot of fraying, you're going to have a really nice effect when you lay a photo over it. So at this stage, I'm not sure if that's what I want. So what I'm going to do is nip it there and give it a rip as well. And there's our piece. And it's just a matter of finding something that's going to work for me. And with this, I don't know if this layer is going to work. So, because I want to be able to fray it too. Now, these pictures I downloaded from Pinterest, and I actually took them to a photo booth and just printed them out. So you can basically do anything. Now, there's the little girl. There's that one, which I really like. That is just from a little magazine. I cut it out. There's that lady, which I don't really think she quite goes there. There's this one. And there's this one. And that one I think really, really looks good. But I've already put cheesecloth under it. Now, I really like that. So my thoughts on the matter is do I use that or do I use this one? Now, what we'll do, we'll ink, because once you inked, it gives you that much better idea if you want to use this picture. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute by that. I just love distressing with this. Now, because we haven't distressed this, we can also do that at the same time. We're going to do something with that bottom. Look, what we're trying to do is utilise what we actually already got. So, to me, that's really important. And I might even end up dyeing these. I can easily dye them, dip them in tea, and they're not going to affect my journal. So I'm not worried if the shoe polish gets on it. Because like I said, I might dip it in tea. I'll just see how I feel. But I just like having a little bit of colour. So that's that. So now it's basically deciding whether I like that the most, which would mean then I've got to make some decisions about the bottom here. Or, so I haven't inked that either. So let's see if I actually done that with the pinkies. But I wanted to show you the technique of cutting with a ruler so that you've got options. So there it is there. Now, another thing I thought of that might be helpful is, let's see if I can grab it. We've got all sorts of things like, this is part of a doily. I can actually rip into it. I can use a feather. And just to add that little bit of something to the picture. And that could be our journal cover. So I really like that for myself because that's me. But before I attach it, I've really got to ask myself, what else do I want to add to it? Now, this was a scarf. I tea-dyed it. It was a scarf that I got from a thrift store. So now I've got to tell myself, do I want that under it maybe? Just remove what I put on and just take this all the way round, you know what I mean? Just to create another effect. Now, if I do that, it changes my project again. So, or we just layer it on the picture, underneath the picture, I should say. So I'm giving it another option. So you see what I'm getting at? So when you're doing this type of covers, you've got to ask yourself, how do you want it to look? So I'm thinking maybe that is a good idea. I'm thinking maybe not that one. Maybe this one might be a better option. Let me see, where's the fabric? This is actually a different piece of fabric again, but we'll try it and just see what we think. Because this is about trial and error. I really like that in the mix. So I'm not going to pull it away as such, but find the piece that I've already tore up for the white one. And two, it's what subject you're going to do. It's what, that's what it's all about in the end. Like I said, a lot of this stuff can be found. This is from that scarf. So I've got to lay it and just have that peeking out maybe. Oops. And ask myself if that looks good. But it would mean I'd have to tear a little bit more from it. So again, I need my sharp scissors. And this is all I do. Nip, tear. Look at the fraying effect you get. So like I said, because I'm not sure, we're laying the pieces down only at this point. And I love the fact that I can actually add another dimension to my picture. So, is that what I want? And this is what you've got to ask yourself when you do a cover. Is this what I want? So if that doesn't work for you, move it away and maybe add the lady. I've got a lady here. It's the same. These were all downloaded from Pinterest. And then I went to a photo booth and got them printed out in matte. And we can put a lady there. Like anything you're going to put's going to look really good. But to me, this one's my favourite. She actually stands out and it just looks amazing. And I actually won't need that white because we're going to use that and that and that. Now we know what we're going to do because I really like that. We've got to decide if we're going to take this all the way round. So again, my thoughts on the matter is I want to do that because I believe it looks good. So what I'm going to do is measure how much I need. Like I said, this is a scarf. It's not store-bought. It's thrift store-bought. So it's my junk. It's junk I already had. So we can cut it there. I dyed this. I dyed this heavily with coffee. Whoops, I don't want to cut that piece off because I reckon that looks good. Okay, so we know basically we want it to be around about there. So my first thing is putting it all back down to make sure I've got it high enough. You know, how high do I want it? Then you've got to ask myself the question is, what am I going to do to the back? I'm just saying, I've got a funny feeling this picture is that tad little small because of the lace work. I'm just going to, we'll just leave that out for a minute. Oh no, that should be okay. because we can do something there as well. So, okay, I'm going to get that back up again, and I am going to give this another trial. It is, honestly, it is just playing around till you get what you want. See, that's even effective, but I don't really want that. I want her. Now it's deciding if I want the other layer with it. No, I don't. So, okay. So we know this has to be stuck down around about here. So what I normally do, and this is where I don't mind utilising the glue, because I want it to stick down. So you see, basically all I've used is things I already had in the house. Kept it simple. We used a shopping bag, and we used a scarf. Now, this is where I need to tidy this up a little bit. And once that's tidy, I can stick that down too. And it's all done by my scissors. So we can take it around. And we just got to make sure that we're laying it evenly. Now, we can also add stuff to the back. I don't know what at this stage, but obviously it'll be either something from a magazine or whatever. Now, I want it even, so I just got to check that they are the same height. And I don't trim off till I know I am right with what I'm doing. There you go. Now, obviously, because I'm using this, now I would definitely have to dye that a little bit, because it just it'll look out of place. So I really like the fact I utilise that, because it just gives it more grunge. So again, I will remove that, and I don't worry about where the glue is here, because it's not an issue. But I just love the contrast of just having that bit of difference in colour. I don't know, it just makes a difference. I just feel it does anyway. And this glue, you can really sort of move it around with your project so it sticks down. It makes you a bit sticky. I'm not worried, I'm not worried about it coming off. But see, I've patched up that little bit of a mess I had there. Now we can just glue a bit of this down. And then what I want to do, you don't have to do this by all means at all. What I want it to do now is, because I've got that stuck down, I am thinking, if you have a look, because we've got that contrast there, I'm going to move it there, and instead of sticking it all down, I am thinking of going just like that and like that, and having a hidey spot. It's all I'm creating is a hidey spot. Now I've got to make sure before I put it down that it's in the right position. So we have got a tuck spot in there now. Just don't get glue on your photo because you don't want to. If you want to fade it out, you can actually use a tea bag over it. But I actually like the vibrancy of that picture. Now, I can also use that bit there. Find a nice little pin. I can actually utilise it there if I want, or whatever. But I am thinking, where did my feather go? Because I really like the feather. Where is my feather? Ah, there it is. I'm thinking, do I like that feather there? And then just run that through it. And then just find a button or something to stick down. So let's try that. I just really like the feather. I know it's white, but we can tone that down with Distress ink. It's amazing what Distress ink does. You can actually be a little bit more creative with it. Now, I might even and this is about using what you got already, you know what I mean? Like, you haven't bought nothing, because what we've used is what basically is in our home. So we will find something to put on there. Like I said, you know, in your button collection, you might have all sorts of things that you don't realise you have. So I tend to go and look in my buttons and see what's in that might go nicely over it. What might make it stand out and look good. There you go. Or, got the seam ink. Nope. See, I keep all my old jewellery. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. I even like that. Which way does it go, though? That way. So we can put that there. We can put... And it's just, like I said, it's just a matter of hunting up in your button container and just finding something that might work for you. If you're not sure, you just leave it not done till you know what you actually want to put there. That's another option. You know, and you just keep doing that till you find something that you really like to put on there. I mean, there's no rush to complete the front because you've basically got it nearly done. Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't think that was right.